Hey guys, Sign here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today we're going to be doing a video for issue 3 of Red Sonja, because apparently I didn't do this video even though I clearly have a distinct memory of doing so, but I think it was when I was sick and I had like all sorts of shit going on in my life, and I think that's why I made up this story that I made this video even though I didn't. It happens, I don't know, it's whatever. But here I am, mostly because I was about to publish a review for issue 4, and I realized that I didn't have issue 3, so here we go. The team remains the same: Thorin Grombeck, Walter Giovanni, Ome Ramalte Jr., and Simon Boland. I do anticipate this is going to change at some point, but I'm not really sure when, because although Thorin Grombeck can continue to write this, I'm not really sure how long this is going to last, and I don't know how long Walter Giovanni is going to want to draw this, right? So, yeah, let's talk about the actual issue, though. So it opens with this narration about this weird warband returning to this Reaver's holding Red Sonja, right? So we get to see this warband and what they're doing, and then we kind of pan into the Reavers, and they're holding Red Sonja by the arms. They're trying to keep her in this area, trying to kill her, basically. And Sonja ends up fighting this guy called Carl, who is kind of the leader of this warband, and they fight. The entity ends up taking over people around her, and self-emulates, as in lights up in flame, to try to stop Sonja from fighting. However, Sonja doesn't like this, and she doesn't understand why this entity is doing this stuff. But she is forced to run, otherwise the entity is going to take over all of the peaceful people around her that are just trying to get away from these Reavers, in order to get her to stop helping them. Now, I'm not really sure why this is, and we haven't gotten an explanation yet, even in issue 4, so it's going to be something I bring up in that review, right? But then we're back to Westfold, where the priest has a giant army that he's amassed, but at this point he doesn't know if he can control it anymore because of how large this army has gotten, and because I think he has influence through his god, like he speaks and they listen because of a higher power, and he's not sure that the higher power in his voice to the god that he prays to is going to be enough to control these people. At least that's what I understand here, but I might be wrong in how I'm going over the stuff that's happening here, right? So, but that is what I got from it. So, yeah. Then Sonja goes to Valinger. She fights some priests and meets with these soldiers, and then ends up going to talk to this trio of witches, these kind of like Macbeth witches, where the entity talks to Sonja to exposit about the jewel, this dark jewel that it has. I don't remember exactly what it says at this point, but I don't remember it being rather like very enlightening. All it does is connect Red Sonja to the guy at Westfold in some way, and it also explains why the lady from the Free Comic Book Day issue reacted the way she did. And then Valinger is attacked by Westfold at the end of the story, and that's where the issue ends, leading right into issue 4, right? The art is still great. I really like it. There's some really great poses here, but I feel like the story is not exactly the best, as in, I like the characterization of Red Sonja. I like what's going on in terms of like, oh, there's fights and there's a weird god/wizard thing. That stuff is good. But the way that the things are moving doesn't really feel like a pulp story. And this is aggravated by the fact that Conan the Barbarian is happening, and it's awesome. Like, that story is great. Like, what is happening in Conan the Barbarian is what I expect from a barbarian story, or from a pulp style sword and sorcery story, right? And comparing that to Red Sonja is making Red Sonja look really bad in comparison. And you can argue you shouldn't do that. Why are you comparing these two stories that have nothing to do with each other? The problem is that Red Sonja is a Conan character. She's modeled after Conan, or actually after Valeria and Bellet, I think, and the Red Sonja character that Robert E. Howard wrote, and she should, in all practice, follow the same kind of storytelling beats that something like a Conan story follows. And it is, but I think it is done in a worse way here. Even though I really enjoy Thorin Grobek's characterization of Red Sonja, I think that the way she's putting the plot together is not really working that well for me. Not enough to make me quit the story just yet, but definitely enough for me to really think, hey, maybe I need to start stepping away from this story. I need to find a good exit point to see where it goes, right? Because this story does seem like it's wrapping up here soon, but I don't know if it's going to lead into a second story that's going to be a large ongoing Red Sonja title, or if it's going to stay as something short and sweet just for the celebration, right? So, I don't know. Overall, the artwork is still great, so I'm willing to pick up a few more issues of this just for the artwork, but if the story doesn't pick up at some point, I'm not really sure that I'm going to want to continue to collect it, right? So, yeah, once again, Red Sonja happens to not be what I'm expecting. And honestly, I think that happens a lot with Dynamite books, not necessarily with the characters that Dynamite works with, because I really think that these characters that they use, you know, the cheesecake superhero kind of female characters like Red Sonja and Sheena and Vampirella do have a lot of potential to them. It's just that the people they choose maybe don't really manage to hit that. And I'm not really sure why. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Red Sonja number 3. A lot of them are going to be echoed in tomorrow's video for Red Sonja number 4, because I had to record this afterwards, and so that made it so that a lot of things that I mentioned there are in my mind today, right? So, yeah, hopefully that's not too big of an issue, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys later.